This weekend, every single WWE title will be on the line at Clash of Champions in Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's time, once again, to bring in CBS local sports wrestling correspondent and expert Chuck Carroll. Hey, Chuck, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going with you?
Hey, it's going great. We got to start talking about the Universal Championship match here. Seth Rollins taking on Braun Strowman. Really a weird dynamic here with them also defending their Raw Tag Championships against Roode and Ziggler. How do you see these matches playing out here?
I mean, this really is kind of interesting. It's not often that you see two guys, one guy, let alone two, doing double duty in the same night, but that is exactly what we have happening here with Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman. The interesting thing here is that over the last few weeks, we've really seen Braun Strowman show next to no interest in being a tag team champion. His eyes have been focused exclusively on that Universal title. Now, Strowman, he has also been a babyface, one of the good guys for a while now, so I'm actually expecting Rollins and Strowman to implode. They will lose the tag team titles to Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, and then go on to have a heck of a match for the Universal title where Strowman just goes full-blown heel and chaos ensues. But Strowman is one of those guys. He always reaches kind of close to the top of the mountain, but then always gets knocked back down to mid-card status. I don't see anything changing this go-around. Look for Rollins to retain.
All right, we've talked a little bit about the guys' matchups. Let's get into the two women's singles matches going on this weekend. Bayley taking on Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Championship. Becky Lynch defending her Raw title against Sasha Banks. Do you see either of these challengers winning at Clash of Champions?
I do. One out of the two, I do believe, will be walking away empty-handed. We'll see at least one women's title change, but I don't think it's going to be on the Raw side. I really honestly believe that Becky Lynch will retain over Sasha Banks, despite the fact that Sasha Banks has been on fire since she returned recently. Here's the thing. Becky Lynch is on the cover of the upcoming WWE 2K20 video game, and their WWE PR machine has been working overtime talking about her real-life engagement to Seth Rollins. They're going mainstream with that. So taking the title off of her right now doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. However, you do now also have Bayley turning heel to rejoin her best friend Sasha Banks. She is defending her title against Charlotte Flair in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I do believe that you will see a title change with the SmackDown women's title. And with no gold around Bayley's waist, no gold around Sasha's waist, I think that you're going to see those two pair back up and make a run at the women's tag team titles. The interesting thing is, if you look at reports from backstage following WrestleMania, one of the reasons that Sasha Banks became so upset and actually took time away from WWE was because she thought that she and Bayley would have those titles for a while and make a run as legitimate tag team champions, bring some legitimacy to those titles. I think that we're going to see those two team up and chase Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross for those titles in the future.
Chuck, how many titles could we see change hands in just one night?
All right. Interestingly, if you go back and you look over the history of the Clash of Champions, WWE has done this pay-per-view twice before, and they've had 9 titles on the line over those 2 pay-per-views. But in only 2 of those matches have we actually seen a title change hands. I think things are going to play out differently this go-around. I think you could see as many as 3 titles changing hands this go around. Of course, you've got the Raw Tag Team titles changing hands. We've already talked about that. The SmackDown Women's title changing hands. And I also think you're going to see The Miz pull an upset over Shinsuke Nakamura to become the new Intercontinental Champion, bringing the total number of title changes to 3.
Well, is that final title change, is that one match that we haven't really talked about that you think could steal the show, or is there any others that you think might be a big one to watch this weekend?
I think that Miz and Shinsuke, that's going to be interesting, but that will not be the match of the night. The match of the night will be AJ Styles and Cedric Alexander, 2 guys that can absolutely put a clinic on in the ring, and that is for the U.S. title. Do I think that it's going to change hands here? No, I absolutely don't. Gallows and Anderson will get involved in this match at some point, cost Cedric the match, but you know what? Before then, we're going to see a heck of a show from 2 of the most talented wrestlers on WWE's roster, so watch this match if you watch no other.
Well, Chuck, thank you so much, as always, for joining us. And you can watch the Clash of Champions this Sunday, September 15th, and read even more of Chuck's predictions at CBS Local Sports. Katie Johnston for CBS Local Sports.